The Jumpstart factory is the first fully automated factory stage. From mining to research, no manual resource transfer required. The next step is to move our supply area, having it now flow directly out of the furnace columns. Observe another feature of Ghost building here. We have the recipes selected even though they're not real assemblers yet. Simply placing the buildings on top of the Ghost imports those settings. The gun turret assembler is using a strange looking 2-belt section as its output instead of a chest or just putting them on the ground. It's just a simple low-tech way of getting the number I want. I don't want just one, but I don't want a full stack of 50 in a chest either. Iron plates are being routed to a specific side only of these 2 belts going through the grid of assemblers. This is because I want iron gear wheels on the other lane of those belts, so I'm leaving the appropriate lane free that the output inserters of the gear wheel assembler will want to use. This grid system, if you will, of assemblers is something that we'll use in more complex form later, and was popularized by the excellent Catherine of Skye. When it's useful, undergrounds just bypass whatever's in their way. The 3-tile gap between the buildings in either direction means that commonly used resources can flow through and be accessed as needed. This results in a highly flexible matrix, and we just plug in what we want to produce and store. Chest ghosts have also been given preset limits. For the time being, we'll just connect power to the first couple of rows here and not to the turrets and ammunition. Copper wires and iron gear wheels remain vital, but we've added electronic circuits and transport belts since we'll be using a higher quantity of those. The goal is still to produce a reasonable amount of the most commonly used items while also not going overboard because this is still a temporary factory. As the inserters are placed, the assembling machines start to come to life. Here's our first use of the red long-handed inserters, similar to the standard ones, but they work a little faster with a longer reach. Multiple copper wire and iron gear wheel assemblers allow us to save some for the engineer's use later, and some for use in other products now. I advise not to skimp on the number of transport belts you save up. We're going to be needing a lot of them. Starting with a few hundred, several hundred, or even 1,000 later will not be excessive. After everything's in place, let's check the operation, see if everything's going smoothly. Circuits are waiting on copper wire. We could have had another assembler feeding them if we really wanted to improve that. This is good enough for what we need. Copper wire assemblers are working non-stop. We need a lot of iron gear wheels, and you can see these momentary pauses. This can be improved. Blue fast inserters move items more quickly at a significant cost in energy. Now the assemblers can work constantly. One way to optimize is to match the tool to the requirements of the task. Let's give our transport belt some love as well. Of course, we could have just added another standard inserter also. Anytime we need more plates, we can just run down the transport belt, pick some up, or if there's a backup, there will be some stored in the furnace itself. If we have extras, such as these copper wires, we can just dump them in an assembling machine that uses them. Grab some newly built circuits, throw them on the quick bar. That's the look of progress. As we head back to check on the research, if this Jumpstart setup has been useful to you, please consider hitting the like button, subscribing, and leaving a comment below with your thoughts. All still running well, we'll do a quick resupply. Notice I've already taken down the storage for copper wire and gear wheels over here, as that would simply be redundant at this point. We don't want to fall behind in exploration, so we'll expand our radar coverage next. 4 additional radars is the goal for the moment, 1 in each of the cardinal directions, and we still need to place the one in the south. The way I go about this is just going in a straight line in any direction until there's a 1 chunk wide gap in the fog of war area around what you can see. That's the difference between engineer sight range and radar sight range. Try to roughly center myself in that zone, throw down the radar, and connect up the power. The build-up here is generally a stair-stepping type of approach. Add another section of production, then add some more radars, then check the power, then cycle back to more production. Don't forget to keep an eye on the spread of pollution, clear out enemy bases if needed, or add to mining and furnaces if the iron and copper start running low.